him, and he has to like look down and away, but then he has to turn around to tail him. You know, you can't just keep walking the wrong direction.
Yeah. And then this is the best.
What happens, Larry?
Oh, this guy, Parker, just knows his business. Well, we later find out that this is Parker, and he knows his business. He kind of ducks behind a quick little corner. The guy turns around and he's like, "Where the heck did he go?" And Parker clocks him.
Yeah, he pulls out this big. He has a giant hand.
He's got 2 giant hands,
which I think is like part of his character. Like he's known for having big hands.
Yeah.
So,
he puts him on this guy fast.
Yeah, he just grabs him by the scruff of his neck and or the front of his collar, and just heaves him. The first words are really "gah" by this guy.
Yeah.
Getting thrown.
So he gets thrown, and then the guy comes up with a knife. That doesn't sit well with this big guy. This guy punches him in the throat, and that's it.
Yeah. So we get a little from the narrator here. And I really like how they put the narrator's text in. They made
in the silhouette.
The kid's silhouette. So you're behind the kid, and it's like a white silhouette where they put the words, "Parker had no weapons on him but his hands. They were big hands to go with the rest of them." And he looks so menacing with the shadows over him and his narrow tie and his giant hands.
Yeah.
That's a cool page.
This is a fantastic page.
That could be a cover page.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Like beyond being a great splash page, that could be a cover.
Yeah. And just to go back a beat, what a great cover this book has.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
And we didn't talk about that cover, but we should revisit that. So I don't want to forget what a great cover that is.
Let's do that at the very end.
All right. So Parker punches this guy, lays him out, and the best scene. Well, it's not the best scene. It's pretty tragic. Is there's like a question mark dead. This guy is
he's
just
lying on the ground. Parker punched him like one time in the throat. It looks like.
Yeah, and so Parker,
if the knife is on the ground,
and he's just, yeah, he's in the light of a street light, and he's just like, oh, Parker picks up his hat and puts it on, and then goes through this guy's stuff, finds out who this guy is. He doesn't like this, and then Parker, at the same time, decides that the deal is a bust. He's not going to go through with the job.
Yeah. So whatever he was doing, now he realizes like he just says the job. So from that, I guess we assume that he's like some kind of guy who has a job. Yeah,
he's a guy who has a job, but he doesn't want this job anymore.
Because he was followed, and now he killed the guy who followed him. So now he's that's a recipe for leaving town.
Yeah, the job is soured. But then we get to this jump page of the same guy. We understand now that it's the same guy coming up out of the water to this glorious beach, this beautiful woman in a bikini, and she's handing him a drink, and the phone is off the hook because somebody has invited him to partake in a job. They've given him a job offer.
Yeah, so we get this in just like a little, like it's a decent amount of words, but only in compared to that there were no words at all. What did you think about the text on this?
See, I'm kind of in the sense that I read all of these novels. I'm a Richard Stark mark, and I've read all of these Parker books, so I know everything about him. I know who the girl is. I know where he is. I know the name of the hotel that he's staying. So
you can almost just look at the pictures and follow along.
Yeah. So I'm kind of in the, like the words get, so if I'm kind of like separating myself from the person who's read all these novels and thinking like, if this was the first time I was reading this, would I get enough information? And I feel like you do get enough information.
Yeah, I feel like they give you just enough, but I actually mean the look of the text. Like I really like the
Oh, it's
look of it,
handwritten.
but it's a little hard to read.
It's a handwritten text. It looks great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it really fits. Like if you look at the text on the page without reading it, it looks like it fits really well.
Oh, it's
and
perfectly
even, like,
sized.
The placing of it fits well, and it's good size. But it's just it's not hard to read, but I noticed I was slower at reading it. Maybe
It's like somebody wrote you a letter. It's like a handwritten letter from a friend.
It makes you slow down, which for me is good. But I could see maybe some people not liking it.
But
Do you know what I mean?
maybe. But I mean, like, stay with it.
Can you see it maybe being a little hard to read?
Well, this comes up a lot in the club.
Oh yeah.
And we often talk about text, color on top of text, our sad old eyes, like it does come up a lot. So, but I don't think this is hard. It's
okay. Because I was kind of curious, like in the relative scheme of things.
Yeah, it's
like it wasn't. I thought for me, it was a benefit.
Yeah, I do like it. It works in this. If it was typed out or something, it wouldn't work. It would.
Yeah,
well,
it
you would
makes
think
the
something
art
different.
look better, and there's not that much of it that like you're ever reading that much. Anyway.
Right, because most of this art is done with or most of this story is done with the art.
Yeah.
And then so we go to this hotel or to this apartment where now our guy, and we know it's the same guy because he's got the hat, he's got the trench coat, and he walks in and his knucklehead's all smiles and he's like, "Oh, what's with the sour face?"
What's going on?
And he says, "Yeah, the guy pulled a knife. I killed him. Oh, but that was
like,
our
what?
guy. He was tailing you because he wanted to know, oh no, what's going on?" And Parker's like, "I'm out." I'm like, the deal is off.
It's like he's not taking the blame, but he's not necessarily putting the blame on the other guy.
Like that was a dumb. Well, he might actually.
We're just gonna both wash our hands of this.
Right. But so there's a couple different players here. There's what's the guy's name? Paulus, who has put together this thing. And then there's Edgar, who is really the kingpin in this thing. He's like, he really put together this, and Paulus called out all his guys. So Edgar puts together a job, and Paulus puts together the people to do the job.
Okay.
And then they meet in this apartment, and Edgar gives the whole the entire
the pitch for the job.
The pitch for the job, which the best part, like, there's a lot of great parts in this book, but the best part of this is his pitch. And
well, so wait, Larry, where did we decide to stop?
We decided to stop at page 30. And when I was reading this, I thought 30 was a good place to stop because there's a great aha moment.
For me,
there is a huge hook. There's an aha moment, but it's hard to stop at that aha moment.
Yeah, because you want to know what the whole, because you don't hear what the whole job is. You just get the beginning of it.
You get the beginning of it. So we might allude to beyond page 30, but let's get to page 30
if you
first.
Look at page 1, that's a little bit of a clue.
If you look at page, exactly.
It's a little bit of a foreshadowing.
It's PowerPoint before PowerPoint.
Yeah, we see this model of a city all laid out in with a sign that says bank on a box type thing, and a doll in a street. And this guy explains this plan that he wants to rob the whole city because the city's in this crazy valley where there's only one way in and one way out. So if they all hit it at the same time.
Yeah, but we're going to need more than 5 guys. We're going to need more than 10 guys. Job. We can need as many as 30 guys to hit this town. It's Ocean's 11. It's awesome, right?
It's very Ocean's 11. And I like that Parker is resistant because he's like, oh, I wouldn't work with a guy who's an amateur. I wouldn't work on a job with this many people. I wouldn't work on all these reasons not to do it.
And there are all these little...
money's too good, and he's bored.
The money's too good, and he's bored. And he's also kind of like challenged. Could we do this? Like that's a scary part for a criminal to be in. Like, could we do this? This seems just crazy enough to try and have some fun with. And Parker's just like, are you kidding me? And then Edgar also lets slip that there's some other stuff going on in his, like, it's a personal thing with him.
Yeah.
And we get more about that.
Which is another reason not to do it.
Yeah. So now you got amateurs, you got multiple guys, and you have a personal vendetta of some sort. I'm not going to say. And then you get PowerPoint Edgar's showing off his and so page 29, after Parker's the first to get it out of this room of great guys, and some of these characters are real, and they come back in other books. Real strong characters.
The characters are almost a hook in this. What we'll call the first issue of the novel. Because you really don't get introduced to hardly anybody except for what they look like.
Exactly, but I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit.
Own character, for sure.
I'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit. And Grofield is an actor who does Shakespeare stuff, and Richard Stark wrote Grofield novels as well, and I've read those.
Oh, really? Interesting.
And he's super fun. He's a fun character. He becomes a huge character in the rest of this story, the score.
Oh, okay.
And it's fun. We meet characters. All of these characters meet other characters, and they just blossom right before your eyes. And so, the page 29 ends with, or the last panel on page 29 is Parker coming to the realization that Edgar's plans to rob an entire town. And he's like, you're crazy.
Crazy.
What happens on page 20 or page 30? I'm not going to tell you.
You got to read it to find out.
This is fun because it's Parker, a character that we've met before, the anti-hero, who, if you remember, settled a major score in, Hunter. He got, it was a revenge story, but he was pretty much by himself here. And then here, it's an assembly of dudes. And each dude has got their own fun stuff going on. It's a great book.
Yeah, so I want to go to the score, but first, should we go back to the cover?
Yeah, so the cover has all of these dudes overlooking this town, and they're all armed and ready to... it looks like a war scene.
Yeah.
But they're all done. There's different costumes and stuff, and
it's not the same art as the inside, which sometimes can get me down. But it's close.
Yeah, it's a bunch of guys.
It's more detailed, but it still has the sketchiness to it.
Uh-huh.
It still has the shadows, but I don't know why.
Yeah, so it's all these guys
it's
up
a cool
on
looking cover.
Up on this hillside looking down at this town as if like, yep, we're going to come down there and take all your money.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Larry, what genre would you call this? Would you think it's noir?
It's crime. Well, when we do our one-ies, I'll put this under crime.
Under crime.
Yeah.
Because if someone told me they were a fan of film noir, I think I'd point them in this direction.
Oh, we just watched A Touch of Evil on Turner Classic Movies the other night.
Yeah.
And this is a touch of evil. It looks that like
Yeah,
stark.
especially with the look and the feel.
Yeah, the look and the feel. Yeah, this is no